My name's Joe Steele.
My name's Curtis Collier.
And together we are the Guardians of the Music.
Oh yeah, the music.
Can I put my glasses back on? I can't see.
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
I think it's allowed.
Alright.
He's blind, I'm not.
I'm very blind. Okay, so we've been wanting to do a podcast for a while talking about our love of music, me being a musician to a degree, and Curtis and his love for all things music. And so we were...
Love for music.
He's got a huge love for it.
I do not play anything. No. He is the expert.
So we were like, hey, we should totally do a podcast talking about music and our favorite things in music culture and everything's going on. Because normally when we end up talking, that's just what happens. So we decided, hey, what if we started doing like a 15-20 minute YouTube video talking about our experiences and things that we like? And I think that's kind of how it started. Yeah. So ultimately, I'll give you a little background about me. I was in a rock band for like 5 years. We did some music and stuff. It was a lot of fun. I was a front man. I booked the concerts. I got into that whole behind the scenes type thing, setting up for big concert events and playing music. It was awesome. That was like 60 pounds ago. Not kidding.
What, less or more? I don't know.
Less. Yeah. I wasn't on drugs. I didn't do any drugs or anything, but I looked like stupid skinny. And then I got married and got fat. That's kind of what happens.
You're always been skinny to me, Joe.
I know. But in my own opinion, I look at myself and I'm like, I ate him. So yeah, so that's my background in it. And after that, I started doing composition, writing original contracts, writing original scores for music. I've done a full
with contracts.
With contracts.
He's done contracts.
I've done contracts. Yeah. So, but I mean, that's kind of my background. Curtis, you know, what's your claim to fame? What's your...
My claim to fame? I'm full of it? No. So...
everyone is.
I love music. I started getting into music as far as listening and get real involved with stuff back in middle school, beginning of high school, and then I started actually promoting shows, doing stuff in my church. I was lucky enough to be handed the reins of Holy Grounds concerts and be able to...
That was legit.
Just do a lot of cool stuff and not have a lot of restraints.
How many years did you do that for?
Like 5 or 6. And I've always kind of been involved in different stuff. Got to know a lot of promoters in other areas surrounding areas, and have built relationships over the years. So, you know, my involvement is mostly the promotion and the setting up of concerts and all the behind the scenes stuff.
But so, how long did you... I mean, it's funny because we didn't even actually meet each other until after...
Yeah.
We didn't even meet each other until after you were done with your booking, like for the most part, and I was done doing the music, and we're like...
Because I don't know if I ever booked his bands or anything.
Did.
I knew who he was, you know, because Joe Steele, you can't forget him.
Aw, you can't forget me. You can't forget. It's so amazing.
But we work together. We're always talking about music,
Absolutely.
What we like, don't like. Now, what are more of your...
Styles,
and what do you more lean towards?
You know... I don't know. There are those days I wake up and I want to listen to some good metal. I just love some good, gritty metal. I mean, let's go. We can go Metallica. We can go Pantera. And then there are times when I just want to listen to instrumental metal. And so there's a guy on YouTube named E-Rock. He does nerdy covers of stuff. I love that. Then I go to the whole opposite end where I love classical music. I grew up listening to... I literally would take 30-minute showers at night and put on the classical music station and like have opera playing, and my dad's like, "Turn it down, we're trying to sleep." That was me. And the next day in my car, I'd be putting on metal and be totally content. And that's
opera metal,
and opera metal, right? Totally awesome. And then I like folk. I'm a huge fan of like bluegrass folk. I don't like country music though.
He's a Mumford.
I like.
Or he's one of Mumford's sons. We didn't know that. We just found out.
Was Mumford a man word?
Yeah. Mumford was around.
Mom, we need to talk.
Mumford had many sons.
And many sons have... Wait, no. That's...
Mumford, Abraham? I don't know.
No. So, I mean, that's my... Okay, yes. What is your music? What does it come down for you?
Well, okay, my generic answer is I love everything, which I do. But I am lean more towards rock, heavy metal... Punk rock. I got into the whole punk rock scene. Live music does it for me. You know, there's something to be said about, it's one thing to experience music, you know, by listening on the radio or whatever, but it's another thing live. And there's so many different avenues of live. It's one experience to experience something in an arena, and if it's done right, it's amazing.
I've been to arena shows that are super boring where you're sitting there and you're like, this is some of my favorite music, but I'm like not excited. You know what I mean? And I've been to other ones where I'm like, dude, that was like the best. If I go to a good concert that I like, it's like if I go to a good movie, I'm like, that's my favorite. And then I have to take like a week to process and go, okay, it wasn't my favorite, but it was really good.
And then there's also something to be said about the small venues.
Oh, yeah.
We're sweating on each other. I mean, I love that interaction. You know, I want the people sweat. I want the juices going. I want to see people, because there's something about that shared live experience that's amazing. And I mean, and I used to be, you know, when I was younger, only, you know, screw the big shows. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
And it's a sellout. I can't do it.
And then you got old.
But you get the creature comforts. There's sometimes I want to take my wife. I want to go sit in seats. I don't want to mess around.
Totally.
But at the same time, I still, when I do go to shows, if money wasn't an option, I still think I would buy seats in the lawn seats at an amphitheater, just because of that communal experience. I want to see the freaks. I want to see the people doing weird stuff. I want to have that experience, because that's what makes live music so much fun. I can go to a band that I absolutely hate.
Yeah.
And usually I only do that if I get free or extremely cheap tickets.
Which is hilarious. There's a lot of shows. He's like, okay, the other day, he's like, dude, Nickelback's coming. Yeah. If I got tickets, would you go with me? I was like,
they were $15 on Groupon. Come on.
I don't
Nickelback
know.
for 15.
And he's just like, dude, it's Nickelback. I'm like, I know. That's what the problem.
There are some people who like Nickelback, and I want to hear from you.
Yeah, you can put it in the comments if you do. I won't give you crap. We can agree to disagree.
Hashtag Nickelback is cool. And I want to hear from you guys. Because here's the deal. Everybody likes what they like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when we're doing this YouTube channel, we might have our opinions and we get super opinionated.
And we might crap on other music.
But
and you
ultimately, what I like about music and the music scene, and mostly for me, the punk rock and the rock and roll scenes,
I love that.
were...
So fun.
Some of them could be very segregated and judging, but it's changed a lot. And ultimately, if you like something and you're passionate about it, that's the way it should be.
You should run for it. That's your favorite.
It shouldn't be afraid or embarrassed.
There's no peer pressure between us.
I love Celine Dion. And I will say that from the start. She was one of the first CDs I ever bought. Her Christmas album in like the mid to late 90s. And
magic.
Here's something about me. Unless I lose the CD, I have not gotten rid of any CDs. I have over 400 CDs, and I am not embarrassed.
No shame.
The R. Kelly single from the really horrible Batman movie. I have that, and I have that. I will bring it. We will play it for you. Gotham City. R. Kelly just screeching. Gotham City. I love it. I love it.
That's hilarious.
Don't be embarrassed about the things you like.
No.
Mortal Kombat 2nd CD I got.
And
a little bit more redeemable.
It's compilation. It's a compilation.
90s, kind of the grunge, whatever.
Oh my gosh. Now you're getting into the movies. Now movie soundtracks is my thing. Like my brother James, he owns probably 500 vinyls. He owns all the AC/DC. He owns all the Boston, all the Who, all the Beatles. He just owns so many, and they're full sets. And he just bought the Johnny Cash. He's got the ultimate Johnny Cash collection that has all of his stuff in there. It's the big black box set.
Dang, dude.
And he's just like, yeah, listen to this. I'm like, dude, what the heck? And we'll go over there and listen to music for hours. So if I ever want to borrow anything, he's like, yeah, you can borrow it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me collect something you're not collecting. So movie soundtracks. I have lots of movie soundtracks. I almost have all of John Williams. That's my like big claim.
Okay, so we're gonna segue into this.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so we're gonna do a couple things. Our live music, our most recent live music experience, which
I will nerd out. I will nerd out. Okay, so I just saw Hans Zimmer live. It was after Coachella when he went back to San Francisco like a week later, and I got to see him. Or it wasn't even a week later. It was a couple days later.
Yeah, it was on a Wednesday.
Dude, it was so good.
But let's preface this. It was Easter. I was watching live feed. I had worked, got off of work. I'm actually the one. Am I the one who sent a couple months before I saw on my Facebook feed that he was going to be in San Francisco, and I should have gone to the show, but I didn't get the day off.
You saw it like 5 months prior.
And I knew that the world would end. Like time would stop for Joe because this is what one of your dreams.
It was literally on my bucket list of like, I'm going to see Hans Zimmer. Like that was up there. But here's the thing, this show, him playing was the first time he played in the States, like as a tour.
Which I didn't know, and that's awesome.
He only played in Germany and stuff. For the last 30 years, he's been writing music, but when he toured, he would only tour in Germany, and it was with metal bands. So when you were like, yeah, Hans Zimmer's coming to the town, I was like, what? No. No. And I looked up, I was like, oh my gosh, he's coming. And I told my wife, I literally looked at her, I was like, Regina, I will fly to Germany to see Hans Zimmer and fly back. I don't care if I'll spend a whole day of my life.
But she should have just done that because he had an excuse to go to Germany. But
That's true. That's true. I'm just that kind of person. Like, it was, so when I got to see him, life was complete. Like, I'm sitting there, and 1 hour went through of music, because he did 2 hour set. At Coachella, he only did an hour.
Yeah.
He had 2 hours of music, and literally an hour passed, and I look at my brother, and when they did their intermission, I went, I feel like I could walk away.
Well, I couldn't imagine, because I saw the live feed, and he didn't want to watch the live feed, because he knew a couple days later
I didn't want to run it for myself.
And it was crazy to me, because I saw the hour, and I figured he would probably do a 2 hour set, because it was just Zimmer. Well, with his huge orchestra and everything.
So good.
Freaking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't imagine singing it live.
Oh, it was amazing. It was incredible. And, I mean, it starts off and you just see his bass musicians in the front. And so there was only like 12 people on stage. And I'm like, oh. But he still had a full sound. And I'm like, okay, are they just going to record loop?
Little did he know.
I'm like, are they just going to do loop tracks with the orchestra? Because I'm like, I'm hearing violin. But then there's one violin person on stage. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's looping it. I don't know. Maybe they're layering it. It's going to be really mellow. Then all of a sudden, another layer. All of a sudden, they start going. They hit. Boom. Back layer drops. And I'm like, 12 more people. Holy crap. And it was 2 more percussion, or 3 more percussions.
Oh, dude, they had everything.
It was so, I was like, ugh. So then all of a sudden that happens. They're like, okay, I can dig this. And then later on, they start doing their actual real orchestral stuff. And the back drops full choir with a full set of
please tell me Lion King.
Oh yeah, they actually got the vocalist from Lion King to do it. Yes. Oh my gosh, they even did Gladiator, which is one of my favorites. And they couldn't get the lady who did it originally on there, but he got a person who filled who did flawless.
Yeah,
because he's super picky. And it's funny, all the people on stage, all these musicians that are on stage are his friends. They're literally people he's like, he even said, my purpose in music is to promote other people in music because I love what they do.
Was it the celloist?
Yeah.
Because I think she just had a CD come out.
Was it Gina Hugh?
Yeah.
Dude, boss.
Yeah.
She does, on Spotify, she does a video game cover, like just tons of music. And
Check her out.
Listen to the crap out of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my last one, and I could nerd out literally for hours. So what was your last one that you went to?
I want to put an addendum to what he said. Hans Zimmer loves what he does.
He loves it.
What struck me is he had a martini shaker and a glass on his piano.
He didn't have it this time. He really didn't have that this time.
I'm sure he was drunk before he got on stage.
He probably was.
Dude, but that's what really and that's where it's at. If I can see an artist that is completely into, he loves what he does. I honestly, I think he'd be doing it regardless if he's making bazillions of dollars, which he is. Because every single movie that you've ever watched that you love, including movies that are out now, he's composed.
Well, when you listen to his documentaries, though, like when I've seen the behind the scenes of the music, he actually talks about him being terrified to write music for something else because he never knows the approach or if his approach is going to be accepted, because there are some Hans Zimmer soundtracks that are forgettable. But they're very few compared to a lot of other composers.
You're putting out that much work. There's going to be a few. So, my live experience, as I'm wearing it right here.
Yeah.
Facedown Records. I went to Facedown Fest. So this record label, in a nutshell, 97 was started by Jason Dunn, who was a drummer for NIV, which was on Victory. It was a Christian hardcore band. One of the kind of first ones that kind of got big and kind of paved the way for a lot of most of the bands that are on this label. So I think they started like in 2000, 2001. Don't quote me. I'm sure some of my buddies who are huge fans of the label will. They haven't done it all 20 years. The Facedown Fest, which is a yearly festival with all the bands from the label, or as many as they can get.
Yeah.
Every year's been different. Some have been bigger, some have been smaller, some have just been one night, 3 nights. This year, 20-year anniversary, 3 nights. being a good husband, I went to 2 of the 3 because...
And was back on Mother's Day because you didn't want to get murdered.
By my wife.
Dude, straight up. No,
so,
but that's
and my only regret, so most of these bands I've seen numerous times. Some of them got back together, and like Nose to Ramveer got back together, played Saturday night. I missed them. They played a couple times. I don't know if I ever had them play in town, but I've gone to see them a lot in Sacramento before they broke up. Now, what band was it? War of Ages. Big band on Facedown. They're still on Facedown. They didn't...
Did they tear it up?
From what I heard, because they play Saturday night.
Oh, you weren't able to get it.
But here's the kicker. I'm a huge fan of POD. And
were they there?
Sonny, the lead singer from POD, did a POD song with the War of Ages.
Dude, freaking throwback.
So I missed that. But
it's okay.
But
thank you, YouTube.
Overall, it was great. Yeah, thank you, YouTube, for sure. Well, no, actually, I got live feed from one of my best friends who I was with 2 days prior.
Perfect.
So I got even a more fast.
No, thank you, YouTube.
Yeah, no, thank you, YouTube. But it was amazing. I love the bands, I love the music, and as I get older, you know, I can take it or leave it sometimes because I'm not as young as I used to be and all like, I got to be up front.
Yeah.
But it's the experience. I went with a couple friends and met some people I hadn't seen in a long time. My buddies have been going for years.
That's the best way to hang out with your friends. Yeah. Though, to go to a concert, talk about, and to catch up. I mean, after seeing one of your favorite bands that you both have memories with, that's the best. Multiple times with my friends, I'm like, dude, we haven't hung out in a while. This band's coming. Let's totally go and see them. And they're like, okay, and we totally get to catch up. And it's the social element, man. When you're listening to it in your house, and let's be real, when you're listening to music by yourself, you have your headphones on, you're not wanting to be social. You're wanting to listen to your music and chill. Now, at a party, you might put on music in the back. That's not really considered social music because no one else is really experiencing it unless you're at a rave or something. Live music is a social experience. Going to that is like the best. And so if you're not a social human being and you still like music, you're going to be on your headphones sitting there. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Which is fine, but I see things going towards that. And people going to less shows, less experimenting, and only going to the big shows that of the bands they 100% know they like. But how do you know if you like a band unless you see them? So we'll get into that in other episodes. But so my favorite band, Sleeping Giant, played. I love Sleeping Giant. Amazing band. Tommy's awesome.
They are.
Gideon was a sleeper for me because I think I've seen him once before. Amazing band. They're now on another label, and that's one of the things I like about Jason Dunn and Facedown is he always has a really good relationship with his bands, and once their contract's done, no hard feelings if they can move on. A lot of bands have gotten really big. Former bands like Comeback Kid used to be on Facedown, and now it's a huge hardcore band, still playing and everything. So Gideon has a new album. Check it out. I think Jimmy Johnson from Hatebreed does a track. Amazing hardcore. I think they're on Equal Vision. Don't quote me on that, but check it out. Just put in Gideon, Spotify it, check it out, see if you like it, and buy it.
We decided, you know what, since we were such a fan of physical music, we were going to bring in vinyls from our collection. Yeah. So you go ahead and bring, I want to see yours first.
All right.
Because you already know what mine are.
Yes.
I don't know what yours are.
So there's a theme. We're bringing up records from mine. Spans a whole record label. Him spans just
mine expands from I'm hitting Hans Zimmer. I'm going to do it. I just freaking love Hans Zimmer, so I have his vinyls for sure. And since vinyls are now becoming... Remember when vinyls weren't popular? And then everyone's like, vinyls are popular.
Well, I've always liked collecting, but yeah, now it's vinyl.
Now it's everywhere. I was collecting before it was hipster. Just wanting you to know that, Facebook, YouTube.
And apparently, as I'm finding out from other people that I know, I'm apparently total hipster. But we'll get into that later as well.
You're a sexy hipster.
It's probably going to be one of our segments. We'll pick out a quality of Curtis that is hipster. While I'm going to try to deny it because I don't want to be a hipster.
Okay, I like it.
AKA, look at my haircut.
I like it. It's sexy. That's what it is.
All right, so... For today, I absolutely love this band. I've always loved them. They just broke up.
Did they?
Yes. Aww. I went to their last tour. So, this is their first album on Facedown. Really good. A little bit more raw, quality, but still great album. And then this is Breakers, where they kind of reached the pinnacle as far as of their existence on Facedown.
Absolutely.
So I absolutely love it.
Those are awesome.
I don't know if I got the color variant or not. Oh, yes, I did.
You did get the color variant. Check it out.
Look at
blue.
Blue. know, that's one of the things. It's fun to get the different color variants.
Absolutely.
And it's fun. All right.
All right. I'll grab mine. I'm right here. Hey, look. I was off and now I'm on. Okay, Hans Zimmer. Inception. And what's in this one? Check this out. And color. Speaking of color variant, what's more Inception than see-through? Huh? Not much.
Now, right. What track do you like on that?
Oh gosh, it's the Time. Time is the most iconic song, and it's genius. I freaking love it. I've actually been working on with a buddy. We're working on some music similar to that. All right, Man of Steel. Now, the people give this movie crap. The soundtrack is so freaking good. Look. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. That's a picture of Hans Zimmer in the middle, and he's conducting 10 different live drum kits. Freaking amazing. 10 to get that epic drum sound. He didn't use timpanis, bro. He freaking used real drums. And let's go in a totally different direction without drums. Interstellar. I'm
trying to remember
the pipe organ.
Was it more electronic?
No. Well, it was very live and raw. It felt very open, and he used a huge organ, like from one of those old ones that the huge pipes, and he mic'd it.
Wow.
And it makes you feel
gave that more space.
It made you feel small because that's such a powerful instrument. When it hits, man, you just feel you suck.
Well, in that movie just sucks you in,
and you're supposed to feel small.
Yeah.
That's the point of it.
Just the space and vastness of everything.
So thank you, YouTube, for watching. You guys are awesome, and we're actually going to be. I'm going to make sure I go on Twitter. I'm going to actually tweet this to Hans Zimmer.
Sweet.
You should tweet. Do you have a Twitter?
Yes.
You should.
Do I use Twitter now?
No, but you should tweet Facedown Records.
I will tweet.
And be like, hey, whatever. And we'll just, we'll throw it out there. We'll comment on them. Like,
Yeah.
If you are an artist and you have some music you want to shoot our way for us to listen to, we'll actually review it. We'll review it and talk about your tunes and what we liked on it.
If you own your own music and allow us to play it, we will play it for everybody.
And we promise, being a musician, I'm very self-conscious about the stuff I write. I promise we will not crap on your music. We will talk about our favorite things in it, and if there are things we don't like in it, we'll leave those alone. And if we do have constructive criticism, we'll talk to you about that on your through messaging. Last thing I want to do.
Ultimately, this is all about the passion for music, love for music.
Absolutely.
And something may not be our cup of tea, but that doesn't mean it's not somebody else's. And we want to share people's music.
Absolutely.
We want to encourage people to create. I don't create, he creates. So I really have no platform to stand on besides the fact I'm a fan and I like music and respect people for creating it. So.
And because we have this passion and wanting to help people in their music and love music so much, we are the guardians of the music. That's why we call it that.
Guardians of the music.
Deal with it.
Deal with it.